Gangstas? I hope you guys are doing pretty well. Right now, the moon is at 18.2% illumination in the sign of Virgo. Headed towards a new moon on November 1st. I feel like right now is a big transitional stage for all of us, really. It's a big collective shift that's happening, kind of looking at things from different perspectives and perhaps changing our own personal philosophies as well. So let's see where you're at and who you are. All right, right off the bat, I'm getting really pure heart energy. We have Pleiadians. It says unconditional love, excitement, laughter. You see the butterflies like coming out of their cocoons, you know, just spreading those wings. There's lots of flowers and life happening in this imagery, which really correlates to abundance. This could be emotional abundance. This could be, you know, material abundance, whatever the case. There's a feeling of freedom here, right? Like a natural underlying bliss. So let's see. And if you're not feeling quite blissful in this energy, you're definitely not one to like be hateful, right? Even when you are going through challenges and changes, I feel like, you know, there's like this inherent kindness in you, right? Like your compassion kind of overpowers any feelings of apathy you might face in life. Interesting. So, the sun came out in reverse, Leo energy, which is interesting. There's no real reverse meaning of this card, right? This is that energy of abundance, magnetism, illumination, growth, expansion, kind of being in the spotlight as well, right? Being seen. The sun is the illuminator of things, right? So there's that. You could be kind of like in the spotlight or get a lot of recognition. We have the Lovers in reverse, Gemini energy. This could represent being single or about to be. I sorry, I shouldn't have laughed, but it doesn't feel like you have any qualms about this. Or that you've at least worked through a lot of the feelings in regards to that, because the King of Swords is coming in reverse right after, right? The King of Air. And with the Lovers in reverse, strong Gemini energy. But we also have Libra energy showing up. So, yeah, you've got a lot going on here. A lot of major arcana, which tells me that you're on your main quest line, right? Right now you're fulfilling some of your soul contracts at this time. So, yeah, King of Swords in reverse is kind of like surrendering, right? Kind of like not fighting it, not fighting your path, not fighting your way here, right? Like perhaps there was some resistance before, maybe neglecting your own intuition about certain things or being stubborn in certain mindsets or whatever, but it feels like something here is shifting in you, right? And then we have the Justice card, Libra energy, which is about balance, karmic balance, right? Karmic justice. So if you feel like you've been wronged or in any way, or that you have been unfulfilled in some areas of life where you feel that it was unjust, like I feel that that's going to be what is the word? Like, it's going to be corrected, right? The wrongs will be corrected. Yeah, we got the Two of Cups in reverse. This is hella single energy, hella separation energy as well. So I don't know if you are going through a separation, but it looks like it already kind of happened within you before it happened physically. Right, and that's kind of why I was laughing, because it kind of feels like you're in the energy of just kind of like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm not forcing shit. I'm not trying to push anything or any agenda. Like, it's that surrendering, right? Surrendering to your outcomes. Three of Wands. You have been patient in something, right? Three of Wands really represents waiting for things to change, waiting for the ships to come in, right? This is perhaps also like a big distraction for you to be in the energy of waiting, because it kind of makes it creates its own resistance to the path, right? It's like watching a pot of water boil. You know, the longer you focus on the outcome, the longer you're sitting there like, well, why won't you do it? You know, it's just creating your own like suffering in the meantime, when you could just go distract yourself while your manifestations are coming through for you. We have the Moon card, Pisces energy showing up. The Moon card also, with the Sun here, there's hella energy about something being illuminated, something coming to light, something coming up from under the surface. I'm seeing very strong yin-yang energy in the imagery here with the pyramids and the dogs. You know, it's like very, very yin-yang. The full moon in the background. Alright, so what is your advice at this time? Take it easy. We have Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This is like, don't overthink your outcomes, right? Don't romanticize the future too much. Don't try to put your own twist on things, because sometimes the universe has things in line for you that you can't predict, right? It's like kind of like Plato's cave, for example. Like, if you've never seen some things, there's no possible way for you to ever desire those things, right? And so if you don't know that something exists, like, you couldn't have ever possibly have dreamt or desired the outcome. So this is where a lot of the surrendering is supposed to take place. It's surrendering your own ideas of what your best case scenario is, and kind of let, you know, the universe work in your favor here, in ways that you perhaps could not have seen, right? In ways that you could not have predicted. But the Knight of Swords in reverse, this also says, like, you don't have to be taking constant action either. Like, you could just allow the universe to work for you a little bit, because it looks like you kind of overwork yourself in some ways, right? You overthink situations, you know, you're very action oriented, which tells me that you are in your masculine energy, regardless of your gender. Like, this is being more in that methodical, kind of wanting to know how everything is supposed to go and how everything falls into place. And that's kind of the Divine Comedy, though, aspect of reality. It's like, the best parts are the parts that you don't know, right? The parts that you just allow life to kind of happen. And I feel that this is what most Stoic philosophers and Taoists and all, you know, everybody who had these, you know, big profound thoughts, they all kind of like agreed on this commonality that letting go is the best way, right? Letting go of our outcomes, letting go of our preconceived notions of what our perfect life would be or our perfect scenarios or whatever. It's like releasing these images and like kind of divorcing ourselves from these outcomes a little bit in order to allow the universe to conspire in our favor and to gift us with what we perhaps could not conceive of. You know, it always brings me back to that movie Fools Rush In, where the dude looks at Salma Hayek and he's like, "You're everything I never knew I always wanted." And that's exactly the kind of energy I'm feeling with this, because it's like there's some things that are going to be taking place in your near future, and it's going to be everything that you never knew you always wanted. Because like Plato's cave, like you couldn't perceive that far. You haven't seen past the shadows and the fucking in the light of the fire, right? You haven't stepped out into the unknowing, the unknown, right? And stepping into that unknown is really going to bring about a lot of growth for you, right? Because this is going to change you as a person, right? These new ideas of who you are or who you're becoming, right? Just allowing yourself to kind of free fall through reality. That is the biggest virtue of living, is to live in the present, right? And that was originally the point I was making with all the philosophers agreeing on the one thing. That's it, It's like to just be in the present and to just allow life to unfold, right? Amor fati, like love your fate, love what is, kind of transpiring for you, right? And see it in that light, that things aren't happening against you, but for you. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse, right? This is having a change of heart, looking at things differently. Perhaps not pursuing things that you would have in the past as well, because it looks like with the Moon card, there's like a revelation that takes place, or like some kind of epiphany that happens for you, where you're like, you just look at things way differently and you're like, whoa, okay. With the King of Wands, Wands is honest communication, right? Wands is fire energy, coming back to that strong Leo presence. Could be in your natal chart, who knows, but it's showing up, right? But yeah, the King of Wands is really the energy that you're moving toward, right? And this is kind of, your advice in the same breath, right? Because looks like based on your trajectory right now, living in your truth, right? Living in a way that you feel passionate about or that you feel inspired by. Things that bring you more ideas are going to be the best, or the kinds of things that you should focus your energy on, right? Kind of like an artist with a muse, it's like sometimes looking at the opposite side of a perspective and or like seeing, opposing thoughts and things, like, and really entertaining those without bias helps us to get a more holistic perspective on our own personal philosophies and how we want to live out our reality, right? So yeah, I do see the winds of change for you here. With the Knave of Swords, I'm seeing like truth telling, I guess. Swords is also that, right? It's the truth, and it's cold, and it's to the point. The Knave is a messenger, so somebody could be like, you could be talking to somebody might send you a message or whatever, but it's kind of like, it's coming from a place of authenticity. It's coming from a place of straightforwardness. So let's see what else came out, right? Holy shit, dog. Okay. So I feel like there's a chain of events that are occurring for you in your present tense, right? With the tower, certain things are falling apart and coming together, right? Um, with the lovers in reverse and the two of cups in reverse could be relationship changes. Um, Also, this could be just like we were talking about before, like some preconceived ideas about life and our personal philosophies kind of falling apart and rebuilding those according to our newfound evidence or newfound experiences, things that really trigger us to look at things from another perspective, right? We have the Ten of Cups in reverse, right? And there's, more to this energy of allowing some old ideas of what happily ever after were go. Wait, did I say that correctly? Like how we perceived happily ever after, like allowing that perception to fade away and allowing a new perception to be kind of put in its place, right? As you experience things that bring you more joy and inspiration in ways that you perhaps could not have predicted for yourself, right? It was like a surprise from the universe. Like, here you are seeking and focusing on this one outcome when something over here is really calling you to action, right? It's causing you to feel more in your purpose. Like, it inspires you to create more, to do more, whatever the case is, right? And so it's kind of, it all boils back down to that. It's something that you never knew you always wanted. And with the Fool in reverse, the Aries, Aquarius energy, this is really not wanting to be foolish and impulsive and being driven by like lust or temptation. This is wanting to have good intentions with your actions, right? And so this is also putting a lot of thought into your actions, right? With the Five of Cups in reverse, this is a self-protective measure, right? Not wanting to be emotionally disappointed or hurt again. It does look like there is another person here that is kind of in focus, right? Because you're showing up as the King of Wands, and I'm seeing a more feminine energy popping up here with the Queen of Pentacles. And this is somebody who's very like independent, right? The Queen of Pentacles is kind of like that entrepreneurial energy. This is somebody who like gets her bag, right? Or their bag, or whatever their gender is, right? This is somebody who operates on the more masculine side of femininity, right? Because this is also very business oriented, very detail oriented. However, the feminine aspects of her are the creative parts, right? The creative endeavors, the bringing the ideas to the table, being very innovative. So this is somebody who's very forward thinking, very progressive in their thinking. So what is their relation to you in this story? Oh shit. Okay. Let's see. We have the King of Pentacles, right, showing up in her relation to you. And King and Queen of Pentacles are divine counterparts, dog. They're like twin flames, Aristotle once said that humans were created with 4 arms and 4 legs, 2 heads, 2 hearts. And but Zeus thought that they were so powerful, that they were, so strong that they would overtake the gods one day. And so he separated them into 2 different people, and then they would have to spend their entire lives searching for one another. Lifetime after lifetime, actually. And that pursuit of each other would distract them from trying to overthrow the gods. But it's funny, that pursuit, because it is a pursuit of self, isn't it? And there's a better and more realistic take on the twin flames, and that is that, due to electron repulsion. Okay, let's get real scientific for a second. Due to electron repulsion, you're like 99.9999999% energy and barely a fraction of 1% matter, right? Which in matter is just like energy operating at a different frequency, right? So you're really like 100% energy. Energy is all encompassing. It's for every little crack or region in space and time, you'll find energy, right? It's all encompassing. It is God. It illuminates everything. It brings consciousness. It is it. And well, energy is not confined to space and time in the same way that a material being would be, right? The way that we only perceive the third dimension, that we're all, whatever. We're experiencing the illusion, if you will, right? The illusion of separation. It's like energy having a big dream, right? That's what we are. And so, we're quantum entangled to the energy that is us, our own specific frequency signature, right? We're quantum entangled to that. And since energy is not confined to space and time, you're able to incarnate more than one of you in one lifetime, right? And you'll be quantum entangled to that, right? Because it is you. It is the wholeness of you, the entirety of you. And usually when you do encounter your twin flame, if you do, it's so fucking rare and whatever. It's the unicorn of spirituality, guys. So, like, if you do, then it's like you're gonna be confronted with, like, it's like when you're playing fucking Legend of Zelda and you have to face Shadow Link. That's what it's like. Okay, because they're going to exhibit the sides of you that you repress, right? They're going to trigger these responses in you that cause you to grow, that cause you to feel that passionate wind of change, the wanting to better yourself and all those things, right? And they challenge your mindset. They challenge you because they are you, right? And there's nobody who is better fit to fight you than yourself, right? Fair fight. So, and the funniest part about the whole game, right? If you notice, like, they're over here distracted, not even looking at each other here, right? And so, because they're focused on these external whatever, but their energy is mirrored. They're doing the same shit, right? Their energy is mirrored. Even if they are trying to distract from one another or whatever, right? Because there's this whole runner chaser thing. It's kind of like with magnets, right? If you have the negative and positive together, they'll attract, right? But put positive and positive together and they'll repel, And so it's finding the balance between both of y'all so that you guys aren't operating so much on the positive, like there has to be the duality, the polarity. So when you guys tap into the aspects of yourself that you're designed for, right? Whether that's leaning more into the masculine or feminine, regardless of gender, whatever. We all lay somewhere on the spectrum between masculine and feminine, and so when you find the balance where you are placed authentically there and you are exhibiting the most authentic form of yourself, that's where you encounter your twin flame. That's where the running and chasing stops happening, right? Because rather than trying to focus on this external connection, you're focusing on the internal conditions, right? You're focusing on building that up rather than, whatever else is going on. And a lot of fucking cards came out, so I'm just gonna start flipping these. Like, damn it. The universe has a lot to tell you, apparently. Right. Alright, so we have Ace of Pentacles, right? This is new cycles, new beginnings. This is the start of something new, which we're kind of discussing. That could be a new connection, right? But this new, right now, like it looks like the place that you're at is this Six of Swords, which is kind of like being very guarded and kind of like focused on like healing and growing and moving forward from things from the past. So I don't feel like there's a big rush on this connection. I feel that in due time, whatever will take place, you know, but it feels like the biggest focus right now is this like healing and growing and establishing of oneself. Um, we have the Three of Pentacles, right? This is like working with other people, collaborations, um, perhaps, you know, group activities, those kinds of things. It's like maybe you're being called to like really invest your time and energy into learning something new or doing something different. We have the Judgment card, Divine Intervention, right? You have the Judgment and Justice card. So, you know, there could also be like court stuff or documents, contracts coming up for you at this time or in the near future. Could be something like jury duty for all I know, but it's like it does look like something's gonna play out in your favor, having the Justice and Judgment in the upright. But it looks like divine intervention as well on your path. Like something's going to like steer your ship a little bit in the right direction. With the Ten of Wands in reverse, this is going to help you to release like that burden of the overthinking, the anxiety, the, you know, needing to hold on to things, right? Because he's holding on to this, trying to carry it up this fucking hill. Well, in most Ten of Wands decks, I guess. But it's really just something that he doesn't need to hold on to anymore, right? It's a burden that needs to be released. And I see you coming to that, but I see that being the biggest focus right now. I don't see it being so heavily focused on your divine partnership, which is fine. It just shows that their presence is here, right? They're present. So yeah, with the Ten of Wands in reverse, I see like having to release and let go and moving from the past. You know, if you want to move more freely into the future, you got to stop looking back, right? If you're driving your car, you're driving forward, okay? You're not going to be looking like this out the window if you're driving forward, right? That's only if you're reversing. If you're not reversing, stop looking like this, okay? You're going to crash, bro. Like, just no more looking back. Just fucking onward and upward. Excelsior. Forever. Just, you know, stop looking back, right? We have the Six of Wands. This is more the energy of you being like in the spotlight of you. You could be like a content creator or something because you have, you know, the Sun and the Six of Wands here, which end with the Moon too being illumination coming into the light. So they're all very spotlight energy. So that indicates to me that you yourself could have content that you're creating or some kind of creative avenue that really brings a lot of attention to you, right? That really puts you in the spotlight. Whether that's now or in the near future, you could be sitting on an idea like for a podcast or something, but yeah, it looks like something's gonna, you know, be really rewarding in that regard though for you. We have the Devil card, Capricorn energy showing up. So great news if you're a Capricorn. Not so, I mean, and then it's challenging news if you're not, you know. Because if you're a Capricorn, this represents you standing in your power, really, you know, getting into that boss energy. On the flippity flop, this could represent temptation, right? This could represent things that could be trying to set you back or hold you back, right? Things that create roadblocks for you. And the best way to know what isn't right for you is what happens to you in your day-to-day life. I learned this. I was like, damn, this I should have known the whole time, but I like to learn the hard way. Apparently, it's very fun. So yeah, but when you're on the right path, good shit starts happening for you out of the blue, right? You're gonna have little random miracles or blessings or random gifts, or things just naturally start going into flow state, right? If you're on the wrong path, if you're not doing the right shit, the shit you're supposed to do, everything is so much harder. Every obstacle will show up. Every roadblock will get in the way. Anything that needs to push you into the right path, right? And it will break you down, right? It will break down the foundation of everything fucking around you. If you're being called to your path and you get distracted by temptation or whatever, right? And so I see that this can be challenging and this can be testing. The thing is, with the Judgment card, Divine Intervention, I feel like even if you do stray from your path, you're just going to be reeled right back on it, right? It's just, universe is going to whoop that ass on the way, because it looks like you're really here to serve a purpose, right? You're here for this Emperor energy. You're here to build your empire. You're here to sit on your throne and to operate life from your own will, right? Like your own autonomy. What is your utopia? Think on that and build it, and this is taking charge of your own life. This is, like I said before, entrepreneurship, right? This is having a voice that matters. This is being influential in some kind of way. And so, yeah, I feel that there will be temptations or things to try to dissuade you or try to deter you, right? Or pull you off in other directions. But I do see the energy of you overcoming that shit, right? And with the Hermit in reverse, Virgo energy, no, and the Emperor's Aries energy, but yeah, with the Hermit in reverse, this, you're really going to be pulled out of your shell, out of your comfort zone, right? You're going to have to come out of hiding a little bit and kind of, put yourself out there in certain ways that perhaps, or just new ways, right? You might have to interact with the public on a different scale or a larger scale or whatever, But this is all kind of part of your journey. This is why you're here. And anything that pulls you away from that is going to, create these tower moments on your path, right? And, you'll release everything that you're meant to release. That's for dang sure. Whether you like it or not, right? That's the way the universe plays. It's like, if you get distracted, if you, fall into temptation, everything's gonna let you know you're on the wrong path. All the red flags, every sign, everything is gonna be like, bro, what are you doing? So pay attention to that, right? Pay attention to what the universe is saying. The last time I had a really big transition in my life, there was this day where my coworker and I were closing up the restaurant, and fucking a bunch of termites, these flying termites, were just ambushing the building. They were coming in swarms, and they were just everywhere. It was like a fucking plague of termites. And it was so funny because it happened for a day and then it was gone. And so I guess that's in their nature. But what was so interesting about that happening, and never seeing that happen in all the years that I had worked there prior, and and all the years that I've gone there in between and stuff. So yeah, it was weird seeing that, and then everything kind of falling away, right? Sometimes these omens happen, and They're inexplicably on point, you know. And when you think about how dimensions work, how they're perpendicular to one another, and it kind of makes sense that there would be messages in science like that, right? Because you know, anything whose perception is perpendicular to ours dimensionally is going to like see perhaps even deeper into like what is going on in our surroundings. Kind of like us with, if we have like an ant hill or an ant farm, for example, right? We can control their whereabouts, their conditions, all that. We can control the mazes they go through and the paths they take. We can do all that, right? But they're so small that they can't really conceive of the idea of us, right? Like they don't really see us. They don't recognize us as like a thing, right? It's because their perception is so small, right? They're focused on the little bits in front of them. They're not focused on, you know, the larger, grander scheme here, right? And that's only, you know, from their perception of perceiving mostly the second dimension to us, you know, perceiving mostly in the third. And it's like there's 11 known dimensions in the universe that we know of, right? So if that's the case, and they're all operating perpendicular to one another, and all these realities intertwining like that, it totally makes sense that there would be some kind of like interdimensional messages, right? Like after a while, the mouse is gonna realize if they see a lot of cheese on the path, it's probably because a trap is nearby, right? So, you know, it's kind of like that. Anyway, let's see what Kali has to say before I close this out. Dakshina Kali. She appears fierce, and yet she is benign. Her oracle brings the message that a situation which may frighten or intimidate you is well within your capacity to handle. No matter how dramatic or intense a situation may appear to be at this time, it shall eventually be little more than a passing memory, and not have any negative bearing upon your future. Mahavidya. No matter how logical an approach may be or how sensible it may seem, there are times when the heart nudges us toward a different way. Have the courage to be moved by your heart along untried paths that resonate, whatever the logical mind has to say about them. You are outgrowing a problem and birthing a superior outcome. I'll just see if she has anything else to say, and then I will close it out. Debbie Macaulay. No matter what you've done, no matter how many mistakes you've made, Kali is here for you always. Yours is a safety and sanctuary of her divine love. She is your soft place to fall and your kindest and most enthusiastic advocate. Let her shift your experience from endless tasks and ever greater expectations into sweet relief and comforting connections. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Namaste. I love you all, and I will see you later.